What's going on, guys? This is Real Deal Fantasy HQ with your boy LQ back in for another great episode. And today's episode is Waiver Wire. Week 2 is in the books. Now you're looking to Week 3. Who are we going to pick up off the wire? A ton of injuries. Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, Mr. 1 and 2. Done in the game right now for Saquon. And seems he's going to be out for a couple of weeks. And it's still going to hit these teams hard. So you're probably here wondering who to pick up. Who's going to be on the waivers available, where a lot of your league mates going to go run and try to get the block on you, especially if you're a Saquon owner. So I don't want to waste any more time, so let's get right into the episode. So let's get straight to business with Saquon done for the season. You're probably wondering, who do I go pick up? Who do I get early in the morning? Where do I even land on the waiver priority? And what are the odds that I get this guy? So right now, if you haven't heard, Devonta Freeman is going to be working out with the Giants next Friday, this Friday, and they're possibly going to sign him. It makes sense. I kind of seen this coming as soon as I heard the news that Saquon was done for the season, so that automatically, my brain popped up and said, hey, Devonta Freeman's been trying to get signed. But I only fear with using your number one priority to go get Devonta Freeman, or, you taking a chance to go out there and get him on the waiver wires, that he's asking for too much money. And a lot of teams have been kind of pulling back. He says he has 4 teams in talks, but, I kind of don't believe that. It's kind of like when a guy says, I fucked like 4 girls or whatever the case may be. You always divide that by 2. So it's probably only 2 teams. But anyway, I feel like you got to kind of be on the fence about Devonta Freeman because it's not 100% sure he's signed. You know what I mean? So until we get the news, until we find out, I will kind of pull back just a tad bit on trying to rush to the waivers to go get Devonta Freeman. But Dion Lewis is there. He had 10 touches. He was okay. He didn't look terrible. He's very underwhelming. He's the guy, currently behind, Saquon Barkley, so he's the next man up. So he brings some PPR value. I mean, he's very underwhelming when we say his name, Dion Lewis. And I know you guys remember when he was behind Derrick Henry, taking all those annoying touches. He was really the pest. So he was not really a guy that you were able to put in your starting lineup and be comfortable and think he's going to bring, good points and stud points. So here's my thing with Dion Lewis. Now, Dion Lewis, again, he brings PPR value. That's the only reason why I would go get him. He didn't look bad, but my problem is he's on the Giants. The Giants look like they're not going to win a game this year. I mean, they just looked all around bad. They just look bad against the Bears. So I feel like I kind of would just go get Saquon Barkley's backup if I'm absolutely in dire need. Like if Saquon was my god, if he was my RB1, you're expecting him to be your RB1 and RB2 in reality, the way he's able to put up elite numbers. But, again, he's out for the season. So if you're desperately hurting right now, if you're your team's in pain, you're in 0-2, and you need a win next week to stay alive, to have some type of hope. Because starting off 0-3 is tough. It's really tough to get out of that hole, and then you start panicking, you start making trades, and et cetera. So I want you to really look at your team and analyze it. Are you in desperate dire need to go get Dion Lewis, Saquon Barkley's backup? If you're a Saquon owner, it's obviously a no-brainer. You need to go get his backup. But right now, you're probably on the fence. Who do you get, Devonta Freeman or Dion Lewis? The way I look at it is you go get the guy who's signed, who's definitely signed. Because at the end of the day, we've seen, Devonta Freeman work out with plenty of teams. And we've seen Jets, Eagles, and the list goes on. He even worked out, I think, with the Patriots. The list goes on, and he hasn't signed yet. He wants too much money. And I don't think he's going to humble himself and hey, maybe I should take this pay cut because they're in dire need to have a guy. They just lost their stud. Maybe they'll pay me X amount of dollars, whatever he's asking for. I don't think that's the case. I think that, they'll believe in what they have in-house if they can keep it the cheapest. And why dump $10 million or $8 million into a guy who's been roughly washed? He didn't leave the league. He didn't leave the Falcons on a good note. It wasn't like he put up crazy good numbers. He kind of was just washed. So I don't understand how he's asking for so much money. So that might play a factor in all this. So, again, I will personally go after the guy who was signed. Give me Dion Lewis. If I'm in desperate dire need, if I'm 0-2, looking at an 0-3, you just have to analyze your team. You know your team better than I know your team. I don't even know what your team is. So at the end of the day, I'm going for the guy that is signed. Devonta Freeman, it's a possibility he doesn't even sign it, and then you just wasted your waiver pickup on him, running a waiver to go get him, and didn't even fucking sign, and then you're back to square one, dropping him. You know how many people dropped Devonta Freeman in the last 3 weeks? Thousands. Thousands of people. Plenty of people have dropped him because, I'm working out with this team. Drop him. He didn't sign. Oh, he's working out with this team. Pick him up. Oh, he didn't sign. Drop him. That's just how it's been with Devonta Freeman. He's asking for too much money. So this is more of a wait and see. Either way, if I'm wrong about this, it doesn't matter. The Giants are not going to win a game this year. This is what it's looking like. It's just like they're all around a bad team. So unless you want to be that scumbag in your league and you want to go block the Saquon Barkley owner and go pick up Dion or Devonta Freeman, then go ahead. I'm all for that. I love toxic behavior, and it's cutthroat season. There's no friends in fantasy football. I preach this all the time. So if you're going to be that guy, go ahead and be that guy. All for it. Go ahead and grab him. And, if you don't need anything, if you're sitting at 2-0 right now and you don't need a Dion Lewis or Devonta Freeman, then go ahead. Be that scumbag. I'm all for that. But at the end of the day, we're here to win games. So if Dion Lewis makes your team better, if he's going to help contribute week to week, then okay, go for it. Full send. You're going to need the help if you're starting at 0-2 right now. So moving on to the next guy. Now, you probably heard the news. You probably heard all over the, NFL Network, ESPN, even on your Twitter feeds, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Jordan Reed, 2 touchdowns. Woo! Cool. Great. I am not investing in Jordan Reed no longer. No more. Done. I had it up to here because I'm pretty sure everybody, last season before that, were investing in a late round, mid-round 2018, draft picks on Jordan Reed. Very injury prone. And I think Kittle is not that hurt. I think Kittle's on his way back. I don't see Jordan Reed being involved so much in the offense where he's cutting into Kittle's production and he cuts into his touches and et cetera and snap opportunity. No. So short term, no. Long term, no. Jordan Reed, no. I'm not for Jordan Reed. But again, a lot of people are going out there fishing for tight ends right now. They're hoping they get their Jonnu Smith, or they get their Noah Fant, or they're going to, try to find the Mark Andrews of this year and et cetera. Everybody's on that hunt right now. But Jordan Reed is not the answer for you. Kittle is going to be fine. Kittle is not that hurt. He should be returning in the next week or two if they play it safe so they can get him 100%. So short term, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling Jordan Reed to be on my roster just to drop him in the next 2 weeks with Kittle being the stud that he is, and I don't see Jordan Reed contributing in those 2 weeks that, Kittle was out. Yes, he got 2 touchdowns. Great. Cool. He was involved in the offense. Good to see. Good for you that you're healthy, man. I know you had the concussions. You were plotting on ending your career or, retire, whatever the case may be, being with the, the health issue. But I can't invest in you to have you on my fantasy team to burn me 1 week. And then I have to drop you because I put you in my starting lineup because you had a good game yesterday. And then Kittle comes back and then you're not going to see as much playing time. So are you following me? Does this even make sense to do the grab Jordan Reed and put him on your roster just to drop him? No, you don't want bench warmers. You don't want guys who are going to take up space. Use your waiver priority. Use your waiver pickup for people who are actually going to help you week to week, where it's not like I have to question, do I put in Jordan Reed even though Kittle's playing 100%, even though Kittle's being Kittle and he's getting all the touches, getting all the targets? Doesn't make sense to have a body on the bench. So that's all I'm getting at. So just hear me out. You see what I'm saying? Just hear me out. Jordan Reed should not be your waiver priority 1. He shouldn't be your waiver priority 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You see what I'm saying? 11, 12, whatever. You guys are, killing it. You shouldn't have to worry about the waiver wire because you're probably undefeated right now. But again, I don't see, Jordan Reed being an answer to your team to help you, week to week to get you to the playoffs, to bring home the gold and et cetera. I'm not a Jordan Reed believer. I'm done. I'm cutting all ties with him because he's burned me before in the past. And a lot of players that burned me, I don't really give them second or third chances again because I kind of learned my lesson. You screwed me once, it's kind of a dub. So Jordan Reed is not a short-term or long-term answer for your team right now if you're 0-2. That's all I'm getting at. Now, a guy I need you to go grab. If you are in the Jimmy G worlds, or if you're in the Phillip Rivers worlds, or any mid-tier to low-tier quarterback that you have on your roster right now, and you don't have a decent backup. If you're banking on Nick Foles sitting on your bench, he's going to get in. He's going to get in eventually. He's going to take over Trubisky. I think you need to just go grab Justin Herbert. Yes, Lynn is saying Tyrod is the starter. We know that's a lie. I'm telling you, man, that is a lie. There's no way my rookie QB finds out 10 seconds before the game, before kickoff, that I'm going to start a game. And he throws for 375 and has a tight game with Patrick Mahomes, cool, calm, collected in that pocket when it's collapsing, and throws 3 touchdowns, people. No, I'm sorry, 2. Or did he? He had 1 touchdown and he ran 1 in. It doesn't matter. He scored. He scored touchdowns. He has more touchdowns than Tyrod Taylor right now. Let that sink in. Anyway, Lynn is talking about that Tyrod is the guy. If he's healthy, he's going to start, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this may be the case. Just to show face. He could be lying. He could be getting the Bruce Arians, media treatment right here where he's lying to us clearly. What happened with Ronald Jones, Leonard Fournette, going breezy on them. But anyway, Lynn is saying Tyrod is the starter. We know, as the audience and fans and fantasy, analysts and people who are just fans of football, we know Justin Herbert is the guy. We know he's going to get the keys and he's going to be the captain of that ship very soon. So apparently Tyrod had chest pains before the game, went to the hospital. Something about an injection where it was supposed to help his rib injury. I didn't even know he had a rib injury, but it's just a bunch of mess. But at the end of the day, we know Herbert's the guy. We know he's going to eventually get the keys to that car and he's going to drive it. I'm not going to say playoffs, but they're going to win games with Herbert. They're going to lose games with Tyrod. I mean, there's a no-brainer here. Now, again, if you're in the realms of the Trubisky's, Jimmy G, Nick Foles, if you're just, at the low tier, mid-tier quarterbacks, I think Herbert is a very attractive waiver wire pickup this week to help you week to week. Super flex leagues, or if you're in a 1 QB league, 2 QB league, doesn't matter, whatever league you're in. I think Herbert comes in, off of a guy's bye week, or if one of your starting quarterbacks get injured, Herbert comes in as a plug and play and has that potential to give you 375 yards, to give you 2 touchdowns. That's a plus, especially with a rookie. That was amazing to see, to keep that tight game with Patty Mahomes. And Patty Mahomes didn't really look like Patty Mahomes, to be honest with you. But, again, it was a division game, so they're always tough. But I definitely like how Herbert came in so confident. He was so comfortable in that pocket. Like, he done this before. Obviously, he has, but I'm just saying, but not at an NFL level. But he was just slinging the ball, and he was running. He was just reading blitzes. It was crazy. And he had some mental errors, but he's still young. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure that played a part in Lynn trying to save face. Like, look, he's not our guy yet. He's not ready. He still needs more time to develop. Blah, blah, blah. Let the boy build confidence. Put Herbert in, man. And I know we think that Tyrod is going to come back, humble, like, yeah, thanks, Herbert, blah, blah, blah. But we know Tyrod knows he's about to lose his job. This is what it is. Like, come on. The dude, Herbert, had a tryout. He showed up and showed out. Tyrod is known to lose his job. So what I'm getting at in all this, Justin Herbert is a waiver wire pickup. Go pick him up if you need him. If you're hurting that quarterback, like I said, if you're in the realms of Trubisky's, Jimmy G's, Phillip Rivers, and you're holding on to Nick Foles so he gets in eventually, then go ahead and just grab Herbert. If you're already stashing Foles, if you're already in a league where Jimmy G's your QB1, come on. Go get Herbert right now, please. Herbert is going to be the guy that's going to help the Chargers win games. Now, this next guy, he burned me 2 years ago, but I think this is his year. Jerrick Mckinnon. Tevin Coleman's dealing with a knee injury right now. Mostert's probably out for a couple of weeks with also, I think, an MCL injury. And I think Jeffrey Wilson is there, but I don't think he's going to get that much of, touches over Jerrick McKinnon, because Jerrick McKinnon was honestly there first before, the Mostert hype and Tevin Coleman and Jeffrey Wilson was even existing. So I think Jerrick McKinnon gets the first shot, the first reps to be the guy. Hopefully he stays healthy. I'm definitely using a waiver priority on him. I'm definitely, pick him up with the waivers if I can. If I'm hurting at running back, if I need a guy that I need just to have comfortable behind me in my flex, position, out of your running back stable, then Jerrick McKinnon's your guy. I definitely think he can come in with very, PPR value, catching balls out of the backfield. We've seen him, not much of a volume guy between Tevin Coleman and then Mostert and then him and then Jeffrey Wilson, who's also going to come up into that, touch party. But I definitely think him getting touchdowns is a very good plus to see that he's being used in the red zone. So I think Jerrick McKinnon is definitely a guy you go pick up if you're hurting at running back right now. He brings PPR value. He knows the system. He knows the offense. He's getting red zone opportunity. I definitely think you need to go pick him up. There's nothing much to really go in depth about Jerrick McKinnon because we know what he can do. We saw what he did in Minneapolis with minimum, minimum opportunity. And then unfortunately, he went to San Fran, got paid, got injured, took a pay cut. Now, 2020, we are here. Maybe it's Jerrick McKinnon's time to shine. Now, listen, Russell Gage is only owned in 21% leagues right now. 21%. Even coming off of a week 1, seeing 12 targets, over 100 yards, and a touchdown. Now we're into week 2 where he's still sitting and floating on the wire, where he was able to see 9 targets. That's a lot for a guy that is a third option on that offense with Julio freaking Jones and Calvin Ridley. You got to understand, if Gage is not on your roster this week, then you're just missing the wave because Gage is legit. Russell Gage is getting 9 targets, 12 targets. The targets are only going to be spread so thin, but I feel like Matt Ryan is slinging that rock. Matt Ryan's going for, 450 yards a game. You see what I'm saying? He's going for at least 3 to 5 touchdowns a game. And I get excited watching, Matt Ryan when he's on this hot streak because, again, hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. We're on the hot year with Matt Ryan. So I definitely want all parts of that offense. If I can get a Russell Gage off the wire right now and he's giving me 10 to 15 to 15 to 20 points because he's going to see the end zone because we know Julio Jones ain't catching touchdowns. We know Julio Jones ain't seeing that end zone. So there's 2 other options there who have to get the touchdowns, and it's Russell Gage and Calvin Ridley. So I definitely want parts. I want shares. I want all smoke with Russell Gage. I don't understand how people only own him 21% coming off of a week 1, seeing 12 targets. I mean, it was a tough loss against Dallas, you know what I mean? But we're not talking about real life. Falcons, Falcons are being Falcons. They lose big leads. It is what it is, what they're known for now. I think Stephen A. said they're probably the dumbest team he's ever watched in modern-day football, etc. I kind of agree because I don't understand how you give up that lead. But anyway, Russell Gage needs to be added. The guy is going to see the end zone. He's getting the red zone targets. He's getting, all the targets that Calvin Ridley's getting. Because for him to have 9 and Ridley to have 11, he's right there with it. And then week 1, they all saw 12 targets. Ridley, 12 targets. Julio Jones, 12 targets. Russell Gage, 12 targets. This is what it's going to become. And as long as guys stay healthy, of course, you can't predict injury, but he's been looking really good. He looks comfortable in that offense, and that offense is just firing on all cylinders right now. So I definitely think you need to go get Russell Gage ASAP. So I probably missed a few guys. I understand that I can't go 25 minutes into a video of waiver wires because you guys aren't going to sit here for 25 minutes. So I got to try to keep it down. I'm at 18 minutes right now, and I'm surprised you made it this long. Maybe you didn't, but whoever I'm talking to right now, I probably didn't mention every single waiver wire guy that's available there for you, but these are key players. These are key guys. I know I didn't mention CMC, with his ankle injury, he's going to be out for a few weeks, but I only didn't mention his backup because I don't really think it's worth investing. They're going to try to navigate and move around, with another, way to get somebody else at the ball. So I think, honestly, this helps out DJ Moore. This helps Robbie Anderson. It helps out that whole entire offense. But the running back, I think they're going to shy away from trying to give some random nobody, the backup, try to get a CMC playbook, a CMC role. I don't see that happening. So hopefully they sling the rock more. Robbie Anderson gets more involved. If you haven't grabbed Robbie Anderson, what the fuck are you doing? He had a great camp. Curtis Samuel, he could be CMC's backup. We've seen him run the ball 2 or 3 times or whatever the case may be, lined up in the backfield. Whatever. He shouldn't be on the waivers, but he probably is. Then go pick him up then. It is what it is. But that was this week's episode of the Waiver Wire. I'll be back next week. Probably same time, Tuesday morning, and you're probably watching this around lunchtime, the afternoon, but it doesn't matter. So I'll be back next week. Hope you guys like, subscribe, share for your boy. Leave a comment below on what you guys think about the episode. Even throw some start and sits down there. I know it's early. It's Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon. Throw some start and sits below, and I'll try to get to you guys when I can. So that was another great episode of Real Deal Fantasy HQ with your boy LQ.